Hello there. Hello there. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm eating peanuts, okay? Okay. So today, I'm going to be discussing what I've titled From the Wilderness to Worship. From the Wilderness to Worship. Right? I'm going to be telling you how the wilderness made me instead of breaking me. The wilderness made me a champion, right? Yes, I would say yeah. The wilderness actually made a champion of me. It made me a champion. Now, what is this wilderness? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. The wilderness is not a pleasant place to be. Oh, no. No. The wilderness is a place of sorrow. The wilderness is a place of pain, uncertainty, fear, agony. The wilderness is that place where you sit and, you don't even know where next to go. The wilderness is a place where many people, most people, give up. But funny enough, I did not give up in the wilderness. I chose to stand strong. Even in the wilderness. In the wilderness, I built resilience. In the wilderness, I chose life. Even when it looked as though there was no life, I still chose life. I still held on to light through the dark desert. You can call it the wilderness, you can call it the desert. Yes. So, from the wilderness to worship. Now, I've actually been in the wilderness for a long time. I call myself the woman with multiple scars. If you know me, if you know Chidinma, if you know Dimma Onuha, a woman with so many stories, the woman with scars all over her body, a woman who has survived 10 major surgeries, including cancer surgery, breast cancer surgery. A woman who's been in the wilderness, in the desert, for a long time. That's the woman you're looking at. So it's a wilderness, it's a desert. So I don't even know where to start the story from. Because my story is long. My life is a book. Which is actually why I wrote a book titled You Are Unkillable, Light Through the Dark Desert. And that book will be published in the first quarter of this year. Anyway, back to the wilderness. So, for the past 2 years, this lady has been struggling. I would like to say, yeah, between August 2022 and April 2024, I was in the battlefield, battling cancer, battling breast cancer, which had spread to my lymph nodes. Right. It was a journey. It was a journey. You don't wish this on your enemy. If you have seen someone who suffered cancer, You don't wish this for you. No matter how much you hate someone, you don't want that person to suffer cancer. No. No matter how much you hate that person. So I was in the wilderness of cancer. And prior to this wilderness, prior to this, in 2021, 2020, 2021, in December of 2021 and in December of 2020 and January of 2021, I was also in the wilderness, right? I had this fibroid surgery, which turned sour the next day. My small intestine got ruptured. I was being wheeled. I was in Nigeria at the time. I was being moved from one hospital to another. I was vomiting faces. In Lagos, they took me to different hospitals. And when we got to military hospital, they told my sister she has barely an hour to leave. We're going to be posting that because I had a live video, a live testimony after that ordeal. So we'll be posting that for you to watch. I was given 1 hour. She has barely an hour. Okay? The next day I was wheeled into the theater for another surgery called laparotomy and bowel resection. I had DVT. I survived all that. When I was going in for the second surgery, they said to me, even if you come out of the theater alive, you're still going to die within 72 hours in the ICU, right? But I'm here. So I spent my 2020 Christmas and 2021 New Year, January, at the hospital, Luth. Okay? But I'm here. Now, in August of 2022, I was struck with cancer, breast cancer, which had spread to my lymph nodes. I was in that wilderness. My treatment started on the 4th of October 2022, yeah. And I started. Now, on this body, this lady you're looking at, I received 32 rounds of chemotherapy. That's the highest number I've seen. I have never heard. 32 rounds of chemotherapy. I received 19 rounds of radiotherapy. I'm sorry, I received 15 rounds of radiotherapy. And I had mastectomy, that's the surgery, and reconstruction on this body. And you know something weird, something that happened to me in this desert, a wilderness. I will also tell you that wilderness is a place of abandonment. Especially when you have the hands of God on you and when God's hands are upon you and when He has sent you on an assignment. When there's a divine assignment, a divine calling, there's something that happens when you are in that wilderness. You'll be abandoned. I was abandoned. I was abandoned in that wilderness of cats. You know, abandoned by family, abandoned by people, you know. And it was so bad that one day I begged for 2 pounds. I was going to the hospital to receive treatment, right? It's a long story. Not because I didn't have access to money and I had people who could even pay my bills. But at that time, because God wanted all of me. And I am saying this today because I know better. Because I know better. When I was so abandoned in the wilderness of cancer, it was as though my life had come to an end. I had come to the end of myself. Now imagine this. You're dying of cancer. You're in pain. You're trying to reach out to people. You're reaching out to your siblings. No one is talking to you. No one is talking to you. You're running from one person's house to another. People would chase you out of their houses, thinking that you might die in their house. This person, I don't even know her so much. I don't know her enough. If her own people have dropped her, abandoned her, who am I? Why would I take her in? That was my story. That was my story. I suffered. I suffered. And I suffered. I suffered. When people talk about suffering, come, let me explain to you. Let me show you what suffering is. I would fall. People would come, grab me. They don't know where to take me. Some days I slept at the hospitals. I slept at some terrible places. A lady receiving cancer treatment. But you know something about God? The things that would have killed me, that I thought were going to kill me, didn't kill me. I mean, I was supposed to die of infection because I was receiving chemotherapy. And when you're receiving chemotherapy, we know what that means. Your immune system is compromised. You're flat. So anything can kill you. But in this, the kind of places that I slept, the type of places that I went to, I did not die. The hands of God was covering me. Now, a beautiful thing about this journey, this cancer journey and this wilderness, like I said, this is from the wilderness to worship. God started to give me songs. You know, one of these days, I felt I was feeling so abandoned. I was feeling so lonely. I was feeling, you know, sometimes when you're receiving treatments, you just want to cry because you're emotionally down, you're mentally down, you're financially down. Cancer is a devil. I don't know if someone has told you that it's a devil. It's from the pit of hell. He comes to kill you. He wants to kill you spiritually, kills you. It drains you. It drains you physically, it drains you spiritually, it drains you mentally, it drains you emotionally, it drains you everywhere. Then it comes to kill you. When cancer comes, cancer, I say to people, cancer has a voice. It has a voice. So you must have your own voice amplified to submerge the voice of cancer. Yes. So one of these days, I came back from the hospital. I was dying. Ambulance picked me up. My BP was dropping. 50/40. 50/40. My heart rate was dropping. I was going. And I got the ambulance. They picked me up and, you know, tried to stabilize me, brought me back. Later on, very early in the next day, about 4 o'clock or so in the morning, or about 2:30 in the morning, they brought me back home. And I wanted to go have shower. Then I fell to the ground. Now, it was the peak of winter. I fell to the ground with towel round around me because I had taken off my clothes. I wanted to go have shower and I fell to the ground. I did not have anyone to get me up and I was crying and I slept on that cold floor. I slept there until early hours of the morning, until about 4:30. And you know what happened? When I opened my eyes, I looked around me. I said, God, they have left me. What am I still doing here? I said, the world has abandoned me in this place. I said, my siblings have left me. Everyone has left me. I came so I could get shoulders to lean on. The shoulders that I came to lean on, they have dumped me. They have dumped me. They have left me. God, now take me. I said, take me now. This hour. Let me come with you. I begged God for a release. I begged him for a release. Take me tonight, this morning. And he said to me, then abandon yourself. And that day, that minute, I made him a promise. I said, Lord, I abandon myself for you. I took up a pen paper. With my shaky hands, I wrote my first song in the wilderness. I abandoned myself. That song will be dropping, not with this EP, the next one. I abandoned myself for you. And he started to amplify my voice. Now something happened. Something funny, you see. From the wilderness to worship. No matter how weak I was, God was somewhere holding my hands, walking me through the wilderness. I saw him everywhere. I saw God in people. I saw God in strangers. Strangers who came to rescue, strangers who came to touch, strangers who came to help. When I needed my fruits and vegetables, I couldn't get them anymore. I didn't have enough money. God showed up. Someone just showed up, an old man who's from a Greek man. Showed up from somewhere. He has his own allotment. He has a farm in the UK. And he said, all the things you are buying, all the fruits and vegetables you need to help you through this treatment, I have them in my farm. And from that day, God gave me a father in the UK. And funny, I went to see him. I visited him for Christmas. You know, and this man takes me like his own daughter. He calls me my stepdaughter. He takes me around everywhere. Whenever I visit him, he will take me to shops. He will buy me things like I'm a child. He would, you know, pick the things that he believes that I need, my body needs. He will tell me, my daughter, your body doesn't need it. You don't need this one. This is not good for you. This is not good for you. I want you to leave. I have lived my life. I want you to leave. So for every obstacle, God showed up. He showed up. And he amplified my voice. Then I started to write songs. And I wrote 25 songs in the wilderness. Recorded them from the wilderness. If you know what chemotherapy means, you would know how difficult, how impossible it is to do the things that I did. You will know, if you know. But yes, I will receive radiotherapy. The next day I find myself in the studio, music studio. God directed me to a studio of Isaiah, close to where I was staying at the time. And I started to go there. And the guy called me a wonder. Like some days I would finish radiotherapy. When I get to the studio the next day, first of all, I would lay down on the couch. Because I kind of found peace in that studio. For some reason, I don't know. Now I found another brother, the studio engineer. He became my brother. And I would start to record songs. And when I'm tired, he would say, come and lay down. You know. So I recorded these songs from the wilderness. And each of these songs will speak to your condition, to your situation. There is no song that wasn't inspired by something that I was going through at the time. Every song comes with a story. And these stories I am going to be telling you one after the other. I'm going to be selecting the songs. Note, I am dropping 6 tracks. Amen. Number 1, Light Through the Dark Desert. Number 2, which is the title of this EP. Number 3, Okaka. I will tell you how Okaka was birthed. Very funny. Very funny. Nobody would write a song, that song, from where I wrote it. They will have Give Me You, Jesus. We have Emailer, and we have Ayaya. So all these songs have stories. There are stories. And I will tell you the stories that gave birth to the songs. So I wrote songs I recorded songs. And I started to write my book. And I've completed the book. And I set up a foundation. And you know what gave birth to the foundation? Because I was abandoned, and I said to myself, I would give my shoulders to anybody that is going through his or her own desert, walking through his or her own desert at the moment. I would give my shoulders. I will give my shoulders. Because I know what I went through. It wasn't fun. I know the place that I was. It wasn't a nice place. It wasn't a place that any human being should be. Nobody should be abandoned. Nobody should be left in the wilderness. Nobody. Nobody deserves to die. Nobody deserves to die when you are there. Nobody deserves to die. Cancer is a devil from the pit of hell. So I started to worship. Like I said, in the wilderness, people give up. That's where most people give up. You know, they give up. I've had enough. I'm tired. And I got to a point where I said, I have had enough. Like the day I said to God, take me now and let me go. I'm tired. Let me come with you. That is the place where people give up. Because it feels like you've come to the end of yourself. Yes, I actually came to the end of myself. It felt that way at some point. Yes, I did. But there's something that I built in the wilderness. Resilience. Forgiveness. Knowing from the day I found out that cancer was from the pit of hell, I started to forgive people, because cancer, no normal person should abandon someone who's going through cancer. Nobody. But when I decided to abandon myself, God started to speak to me. And he started to tell me, if you are the one who is preaching this to people and telling them cancer is from the pit of hell, that if it's from the pit of hell, the master of hell, who is the devil, can turn people against you. All right? So, I started to worship. Now, what have I achieved? Number one, recorded 25 songs. Number two, written a book, You Are Unkillable. I am going to be talking about that book, how it came, and I'll walk you straight. I will walk you through every chapter of the book, because it's me that I'm pouring out. And I am doing this so that wherever you find yourself today, know that you are unkillable, and you can come out, and you can come out a better person. And then that God allows that to happen means that this same God is able to pull you out, and there's something he wants to make out of you, and he wants to make you a sharp threading instrument having teeth, or a sharp threshing instrument having teeth. So from the day I started to tell myself, God allowed this to happen so he can make me a champion, because God cannot make you a champion where you're drinking tea and coffee. God makes you a champion. You in the wilderness. Wilderness is where champions are made. If you're able to praise and worship in the wilderness or from the wilderness, hello, there's nothing you cannot do. Right? So, I started to worship. So every song gave me a worship. Every situation gave me a worship song. Gave me a song. every situation. When it seemed as though I wasn't going to make it, he gave me a song. There was this day, I was going to receive treatment, and I was very weak. It was as though my body was packing up. My system was packing up. And I was saying to God, I mean, 2 days before my treatment, it was hell for me. You could tell. Because I'll become cranky, angry, I'll be angry, I'll be calling God, I'll be saying, God, why? God, I have asked you, I begged you to interrupt this journey, it is coming again. Because chemotherapy is a devil itself. So cancer treatment is like using the devil to fight the devil. Chemotherapy is actually what kills people more. Yeah, so one of those days, it was as though my body was shutting down, and I was going to receive chemotherapy, and on my way, I was caught. Every day of chemotherapy was my day. My crying. I'll cry. I cry on the bus. I cry on the train. I didn't care about anybody. I just wanted God to interrupt this journey. I just wanted this to end. I just didn't want it anymore. My body was dying. My whole body was dying. I couldn't. My heart was failing me, and I still had to do this. What? And I was walking, and I said, God, but I have told you to interrupt this journey. You can see that my body is shutting down. You can see that my body cannot take this treatment. And look at me, I'm going. How do I receive this treatment? This is going to kill me. I was grumbling. I was crying. And I got to the bus stop. I just stood there angry. And one woman was standing there, a white lady. And she said to me, are you okay? I said, excuse me, this is not Nigeria where people don't mind their businesses. Why is she minding my business now? And she kept asking, I'm like, can you leave me the hell alone? I'm in my own world, you don't understand. And I said, I'm going to the hospital. Are you cool? She said, oh, are you sick? Oh, Jesus. It felt as though something was pushing this woman, because, this is not Nigeria where people don't mind their businesses. And and I said, I'm going to receive treatment, cancer treatment, breast cancer treatment. And she said, oh, I was like you 26 years ago. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 52. Now, listen, this thing happened in 2023, okay? Was it 2023 or 2024? 2023, yeah. So at the time, she was about 82. So it's like she's 83 now. So that was God. And immediately she told me that, she said, one thing you're going to do for yourself? Do not look in the mirror. Because at this time, I was calling myself a monster. I was looking like, of course, I had lost my hair, my eyebrows, everything. I was dark, everything. So don't look at yourself in the mirror. And I was like you 26 years ago, and you see me, I am standing today. That was God. It wasn't just her. That was God. It was God who placed her there just to tell me that, my daughter, you are coming out. And I got on the train or on the bus. Immediately she said that her bus came out and she hopped on the bus. So the next thing I was just thinking to myself, this woman that is jumping like a cricket ball, 82, and she went, then my boss came and I jumped on the bus. And on that bus, God said to me, write me a song. Write me. So on the bus, I wrote a song. He gave me Psalm 121. I wrote him a song on the bus, on my way to the hospital. And that song will be dropping, not now, it's another EP, the next EP. I wrote him that song. And yes, I got to the hospital that day, and because I had grumbled, I had told God, I don't want this treatment today. My body is shutting down. And I got there, they checked my temperature, and they said to me, oh, your temperature is high. I said, no, something. I checked it before coming out, and I don't feel warm. I don't feel anything. They said, no, we can't give you treatment. We cancel it. We move it. And that was God again. Because I had told him my body would not take this. I said, God, if this enters my body today, I will die. Exactly what I said. God said, because my daughter has said this, I don't want to use her words against her. Cancel it. They moved my treatment to the next 2 weeks. Now that was God. Tell me why I won't worship. So it was all these things I started to worship. Now, today, I move around worshiping like an idiot. When I tell people that I'm a fool for Jesus, you don't understand it. Writing 25 songs, writing a book, and unveiling a foundation, Broad Shoulder Stripe, which we've been having outreaches in Nigeria. Come on, that's God, and I have every reason to worship. All right, so you can. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know where you are. I tell people I don't know where you are at the moment. Know this. Know this. You are unkillable. You're coming out, and from that wilderness, and we are going into the worship session together. Come with me. Let me walk you through the whole journey. Come with me. Stick with me. All right. So I am going to be coming. Like I said, I'm going to be telling you stories. All the stories behind each of my songs. All right. I'm going to be sharing the stories with you, and we'll be walking together. And hey, who knows where God is taking us? All right. Stick with me. Let's walk that path together, and let's worship together. Okay? I love you. God bless you. Bye.